Good morning, folks. It's 10:17 a.m. in Liverpool, England, on the first day, 6th month, 2022, and the deluge around Broome continues. As this EMF has been spreading this moisture inland and south throughout Western Australia here, off, the usual suspects. These lakes seem to be getting full. I keep pointing that out. I notice a lot of deluges happening over lakes. So I don't know much about the history of these lakes, how often they go dry, how often they refill. And I'm curious about that. It's something I need to look into. Is anybody allowed to pump water out of these lakes to make bottled water with? That's another thing I would like to know, because water theft is real. Every 3 hours, this particular batch of this stuff here that is offshore is currently dropping. Well, this is on the end of the week. See, this is ahead of time. There's your deluge. You just got a little bit of the weather planned from 9 days from now on the 10th. They're planning a very wet time for you guys in the autumn here. And well, the Northern Territory looks like they're getting CUNT'd as well, or the CNT. They had t-shirts out that said "See you in the Northern Territories" or CUNT, because this is an NT in case anybody is not familiar with that. Some people frowned upon the shirt and some people smiled. I was one of the smilers. A lot of lightning coming in. So let's have a quick look at this, and then I'm going to talk about the wind event, and I want to talk a bit more about molds and plumes. And you're going to have issues with these, and I want you to be aware of them. For asthmatics are going to have issues. Hey, look at that over there, Away Hill. Looks like you got some really heavy stuff coming through planned today around these creeks. If any of these are dry riverbeds around here and you know anybody camping or out and about over here, you might want to tell them to get out or seek higher ground. It's not always a good idea to camp in a gulch. Always look for runoff, because what's happening somewhere else can affect you. If it's raining here and it all runs into a here, then you might have problems. Because what rains here is coming there. What's raining here is coming there. What's raining here is coming here. Are you over here? Do you think you might have flash flooding problems over here? I say you're gonna. Are you near this Timber Creek and all this coming? You're going to be affected by flash flooding, because what's coming over here is going somewhere else. And most of the stuff here, I believe, drains this way. At least looking at the way the tributaries are. Right? This is not a good situation for these people. That look like a beautiful bird landing, head and wings. The angelic country being treated devilishly by the geoengineers. So as I'm just going to give you a few days, because I've got things to do. Yeah, life goes on for Robert Deutsch. This is that's about 2 centimeters every 3 hours. 3 centimeters depending upon which cell you're in. It's very heavy lightning. And where you see lightning like this, you can almost guarantee you're going to have hail, because the updrafts and downdrafts of the ice in a cloud mass can generate a lot of static potential that will then be released to ground. Pow! Big lightnings. Big lightning. Doo-doo. Mount Isa. You got... I had a specific request for here, so let's have a quick roll through. Birdsville. The bird is the word. Somebody's thinking on Alice. Not enough. For Alice. Anybody like that song? And just giving you a quick roll through, and then I'll go down to some of the major population centers. But this looks like the most affected area of your country, and they need the most warning. They need the most honesty. I think we all deserve the most honesty. And well, honesty just is. There isn't degrees of it. There isn't the most honest. Either you are or you ain't. I'm sorry about that. I didn't plan Wave Hill. Look at this line. It's just staying here. Is there a line of chem here? Oh my God. Is there? You tell me. Is there a line of chem here, folks? I say there is. I say, oh my God, there is. Look at the line of chem. Sorry again about that. Right here. here. And well, we got another way to see it too. And here. Right along that line of chem. All these forecasted storms are due to happen. All along these chemical deployments of these catalysts in your atmosphere currently going on windy here. This isn't windy. This is the Bureau of Morons sat view site. On the plumes are pluming up and boom, boom, on the plumes go. Boom! Look at this one going against the flow. Everything's going this way. This one's saying, no, I go this way. I'm going to go that way. I'm going to go this way. Computer says so. Heavy microwaves frying you over here. I'm going to try it. Kununura. Oh my, bzzz, getting fried, Western Australia style at Tennant Creek again, in the aims and in the sights. Alice is frying it up. Look at this plasma on the low deck, squaring off, right over, coming in over Alice Springs. And there's some mountains and stuff over here, so I'm aware. We didn't have any forecasted space weather event I showed yesterday, right? These are just plumes of chem coming over here. This isn't a naturally occurring cloud mass at all. These are chemical catalysts in your skies here going over charter towers. Look at them. Look at all the turns and twists and almost like a Masonic apron over there. Or is that selling some M&Ms maybe? Is that a boomerang? A really big one. Come on. That boomerang ain't being used right. It's coming back on you, folks. Everything you do comes back to you, and life is a great big boomerang, and this stuff in your sky will come to haunt somebody else and eventually go around the entire planet. And even though you might not see it, that chemtrail today might be something you're breathing tomorrow. This one over here is something someone else is going to be breathing tomorrow. Oh, look at this. I'm going to turn some of the town names off. I'm going to quick look and see if this is streaming. Yes. Oh, let's have a backwards leap here. Let's get rid of some of the cities. Hey, it's a lot cleaner without the cities. You think they think that too? Who are they? Our oppressors. Those that are doing this. The United Nations, who are united. It doesn't say the United People. It says United Nations. Nations are flags. Nations are political. Nations don't always have your best interest in mind. And when another nation is telling Australia what to do, how do you like that? I don't like it if somebody telling me what to do, and I'm sure you don't. Look at this chem bomb I'm pointing at. Sorry if somebody doesn't like the color of my cursor. I'll try to remember to change it when I'm using Mimic, but try changing it in the middle of a feed and make everyone happy. I don't think you will. Pow! Look at that. That's obvious deployment here. Look at this going up. Boom, headed toward that way. Hey, let's go south. No, north, south, north. Hey, we'll both go each direction. Boom, boom, go your plumes controlling your weather, Australia. Headed over the top of you. Right, you've got perfect mold conditions. Perfect conditions for growing mold. And whipping up of dust that might have potential molds growing in it is a big, big problem now. For all of Australia over here that's been wet. You're the perfect mushroom spore in growing. And that's very toxic for your lungs. And I see a whole lot of problems here. Look at the sickness mix. There's problems headed your way, folks, and the winds are whipping it up. Drying it out enough for the mushroom spores to really spread and get impregnated in your lungs. And I advise you take whatever measures you can in advance to avoid the toxification of your alveoli, where they become actually the medium for growing a mushroom. I mean, coughing up a fucking shroom. Well, there's a very dangerous winds going on. There's tendrils of what I call the tendrils of death. If the angel of death that was creeping around on that day in Egypt that you seen in the Ten Commandments had a face, I think this is what it would look like. I think it's what it would look like. Do you want to see how much space is covered by the chem? Let me show you something. You see this mass of shit? It's all chem. Look how square form it is. Watch. This is in square kilometers. Right, this is no joke. You draw the new Australian flag in that, isn't it? just around the outside edge of that would take you 7,000. If you was to run around that flag, that toxic flag of Australia right there. Now I'm gonna do it with square area. I'm gonna do this a little more simply. This is the new Australian flag waving in the air, and it looks to me very much like a flag of surrender. You have given up your lucky country, and you're being seen in the NT. Now, that is 3,473,713 square mile long, big area of I have surrendered. But you are the people that should never surrender. You should never take another attack. When the microwaves are cooking you, when the Captain Cook shows no face but still acts like a pirate, then something wicked your way will come. Whether you believe it or not, you could die. For the indigenous people in this country here that I'm circling right here, that I showed that flag of surrender on, that surrendered your heir to the United Nations. Many of your tribe members did not believe that bad was going to happen when our oppressors came offering gifts. How did that work out? Many were called wrong by telling of a harm that did happen. There was one massacre where only one girl survived. And a grand relation of theirs is on my wall. And why don't you ask her how these flags of surrender work out? Now, enough of that. Let me show you your wins. Right. Expect again heavy winds through your mountains and across your lands and all your road passes. I found a new way to kill your weekend. Right? This is your 5-day wind accumulations. Wind right now currently is high. This is a very high wind. These are very damaging winds. This is actually what you're getting right this minute. That ain't a little bit of wind. It's all the time. That ain't right. I'm getting reports of much heavier winds than this. I think Windy's lying. But since when do I ever believe Windy anyhow? You throw some pressures to it, you'll see why. With this high pressure over your country, rain over here should not exist. Right? You should not get any storms. This is high pressure. It should truck it all around. So anything created in here is being done by the geoengineers. The 14 line has got a dip, but that's to be expected because of the bubble of the 10-13 toward this, which is not a lot. That's more of a gentle squeeze. So the highway of moisture is here. It's headed that direction. This direction here is caught up in this, which is impacting New Zealand, and this is a major storm. You're getting lucky that the low is passing under the island. If it had passed directly over your top, the earthquake risk for Christchurch would have been extremely high. Now this is mostly a wind and rain event. And if I show you your accumulations for the next 5 days, you'll see. Boom. Yeah, you got very lucky that got steered south. But low and low like this, these should have equalized by now. Only the geoengineers are holding that apart with beams, like I showed you yesterday. Right? These two sitting next to each other, two highs like this, that's ridiculous. No, that's a ridiculous. Only the geoengineers dropping a chem in the middle is causing a miniature squeeze move, and it's a sideways squeeze, which will tend to throw moisture down in the bottom here. So the tendrils to come in over the top of here are here. All the dynamics are here still. For all this flow from here to here to occur. Remember what I said before, you go one up, one down. I used to go 5, actually, which will put it here to here on our old maps. Yeah? From atmospheric pressure, actually, the zone of volatility is from here to here. Right? To here. Which brings a loop around to Brisbane getting wet. Right? This is just rain. Nothing torrential, nothing to worry about. Alright? What you got to worry about is the wind. And the wind and the molds. And your own lung health. I'm just doing a determine. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna roll this without the pressure because I don't need that. I already know what it's gonna do. Once I keep the pressure in my head, I only have to glance at it to see if there's been any local changes. Don't you find it funny that these winds are in the squares? Excuse me. Well, that's a sensitive mouse. Don't you find it funny these are all in squares? Straight line winds. Well, it's not funny to me as it goes through the gem fields. Right? There's a lot of... That's a lot of wind, man. That's going to whip up a toxic dust storm. This is my concern. Is what these winds are sending your way. And it is bad molds and stuff in it. Yep, that will naturally occur now and grow. Perfect growing situation is going on. And once these mold spores bloom, pop their spores in the wind, you people with autoimmune diseases, I would advise you to stay indoors. How you're going to get it out of your house is going to be the big problem. You're going to have to make a safe room to breathe in. Start with one room and keep it right and then graduate around the house because I see big lung problems coming. Look at this winds they've got scheduled to come in on Saturday. Again, it's always the weekend when the protests are scheduled to happen, when people are fighting for their rights, that say this geoengineering's wrong, and they say the vaccine program's wrong. They say your election was wrong and illegal because all the rules of order were not followed. You know what I say? I say the color's on, and here's evidence of it right here. Chemical attack can come in many forms. Doesn't always happen over Syria and Palestine. Sometimes it can happen over your ocean, and they tell you it's some harmless silver iodide, and I say bullshit. How you feeling health-wise? I say it's bullshit to even want to spray sulfur in the atmosphere. We determined that causes acid rain, which is bad for foliage. We determined this in the 1970s. Evenly spaced plumes going off all at once. The computer must have decided, okay, on now this area goes. Boom, 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 boom! Happy fucking New Year. Chemical catalyst in your skies. This flag of surrender should never be given in advance of the fight. What you gonna do? They have come for you. Watch your winds. Watch your backs. Watch your tides. And the tide of change is up to you. Surf it or drown. That is